In July 2024, my life changed completely. I was diagnosed with a lumbar disc herniation. And before that, I had a lot of trouble finding out what was wrong with me because this was me, a healthy, active guy. I loved physical activity. I liked to go out. I was always at the gym, swimming, every kind of activity. I was that guy. But then suddenly my life changed and transformed completely. And, you know, I was living my life, working as usual, going by my day to day. Nothing extraordinary was happening, I would say. I was pretty happy. And then all of a sudden, I wake up one morning and I begin to feel some kind of pain running down my legs. It was subtle at first, but then it began to get worse day by day, and I was like, okay, there's definitely something wrong because I'm someone who never falls sick. I've been healthy all my life. But then all of a sudden, I just started feeling this unusual pain. And I was pretty sure I'd not done any strange activity prior to that morning when the pain started. But I just waited it out and believed it would go away. One of those kind of pains that you have, and you're like, okay, I'll just give it a few days, maybe try to rest a little, and it would go away. But this one was not going anywhere. Within a period of a few weeks, everything changed. I literally could not walk more than 100 meters. I had so much pain running down my leg. And I just did not understand what was going on. So I went to the hospital, I went to different doctors, and they literally could not figure it out until I decided to do a lumbar sacral MRI. I took it upon myself to think about what might be causing the symptoms. So I go for the MRI, and lo and behold, I had a lumbar disc herniation, L4, L5, L5S1. And this is one of the most common sites for a lumbar disc herniation. So apparently, this was a relief in the sense that I knew what was wrong with me now, at least, and I knew how to move forward with treating it. I was living in a different country at the time, so I decided to go back home just so I could be around my family in case I needed to make any major decision regarding my health, like surgery or otherwise. And I remember being in so much pain that there were nights that I prayed that maybe my life should just end because I was in so much agony. I was on painkillers, ibuprofen, a lot of painkillers that were doing nothing for me, basically. So I sort of spoke to my family. I spoke to my mom, went through with the surgery. I had a laminectomy done to decompress the nerve. So I'm going to put a picture of my MRI right here so you can see the level of herniation that I had. It was quite intense. And, you know, for those of you who might be watching this video who are going through a similar thing, I just want you to know that there is a solution, there are ways out, but it's on an individual basis. So you need to find the right community, you need to find the right doctors to walk you through the process. The data says that 90% of people with a lumbar disc herniation recover within 6 to 8 weeks. For me, 6 weeks in, I was in so much pain. I knew I had to do something about it. So, as you probably saw from my MRI, mine was a really serious case. So, I knew I needed surgery. I knew I needed to get that fixed. So, it was not very easy finding the right surgeon. I went to, a couple of them before I found this really good neurosurgeon who did the surgery. And to God be the glory, it was successful. And a day after surgery, I was already walking around. Not in an intensive manner, but I could move around and I could feel that the pain was gone. So this is 1 year and 1 month post my surgery. And there have been good days and bad days. Sometimes I have flare ups because the nerves get irritated. And some days are just good. I've tried my best not to do any extreme physical activity. I go to the pool, I swim, and it has been hard, to be honest, but having people around you who love you, who support you, I think it's key to recovery because if I was alone, I don't know how I would have gone through this. And bear in mind, I was living in a different country when this happened. So I knew I needed that support. And if you're going through the same thing, make sure you find people around you who can help you, whether it's friends, family. You need a support system to go through this kind of pain, to go through this kind of, life changing moments. It was a very difficult moment for me, but luckily enough, I've been able to get back on my feet. I am able to walk around, I can swim, and the pain comes and it goes. The tingling that I had was serious. Now it's just minor pain here and there. And like I said, there are good days and bad days. I've been doing a lot of like physiotherapy on my own because as a doctor, I have, knowledge of the anatomy and I know what works for me. So it's very important for you to listen to your body and to make sure you're not doing anything that exacerbates the pain. So if you don't have the knowledge, I would advise you go to someone who does, maybe a physiotherapist who is specialized in spine rehabilitation, not just any physiotherapist. They have to be used to working with patients who have had similar issues. So that is I would say, something that is important to bear in mind. So wherever you're watching from, if you're going through a similar situation, it's important to know that it's not the end of the world. You can recover. It is a long process. It requires a lot of hard work, but if you do certain things, you should be able to get back to your regular physical activity. So one of the most important thing to do is to take care of your body. So if you avoid smoking, if you eat healthy food, sleep properly, and just take care of your body, it would allow you heal faster and reduce the inflammatory processes that go on in your body. If you're someone who believes in God, having your faith renewed and finding a community of people who can pray with you and can support you can also be a game changer. So I encourage you, wherever you are, if you're watching, this is not the end of the road for you. You can recover. It's important to have a positive mindset and to stay committed to recovering as you go along. So let me know in the comments if this video helped you or encouraged you in any way. Make sure to leave a like and consider subscribing to the channel. See you on the next one.